destroyed. I wonder, is this destroyed or not destroyed? Daizui said, destroyed. The monk asked, if so, does everything go with it? Daizui said, everything goes with it. The same monk later asked Ryuzai, in the raging of Kalpa fire, trillion cosms are together destroyed. I wonder, is this destroyed or not destroyed? Ryuzai replied, not destroyed. The monk asked, why is it not destroyed? Ryuzai replied, because it is the same as the Chiliocosmos. Can everyone in the back hear me?
Yes.
2 years ago this month, I received an envelope. And in the envelope it said that the cancer I thought was gone had come back to my lung. 6 months earlier, a doctor had told me, if that's true, if that happens, there's nothing I can do to help you. That day and the next few days, I'll always remember, because I lost something I never knew I had. And I still, when you get that news, you have to do the things you always do. You have to go shopping, you have to eat, you have to still put one foot in front of the other. But you're walking among people that aren't the same as me anymore. I saw them in the coffee shops, on their cell phones, doing their shopping, and I knew that they had what I had lost, but they didn't know they had it. And what I lost was the delusion of infinite time. This delusion, it was key in my life. I realized up in my head there's a little department. I call it Kevin's place. It's like a small little factory, a little machine that runs. And it's where the story is created. It rationalizes all my mischief. It tells a wonderful story of success and failure, of glory and joy and suffering. It's where all my politics and my religion and my philosophy all reside. But there's one thing that it requires. It requires to keep the story moving is this delusion of infinite time. Because while you have your past, there needs to be a long, long future to make everything right. To have a happy ending. And when that's cut off, this machine becomes like an old truck. The kind where you take the key out and it keeps running for 15 minutes. And it runs on 3 cylinders and ball tires and the door doesn't quite shut right. It tries to create a story, but the story doesn't stick to the walls anymore. And it's a very confusing time. It's a very lonely time. Because there's no one you can be with except those who have been through it. And you end up in a hole, in a dark hole. And people come by and say, how you doing? And they may be able to distract you for a few minutes, and then when they go, you go right back to it. I always remember going to movies, and I used to like it if I'd laugh, or something that would distract me for a moment, but as soon as the joke was over, you'd go right back to it, right back to this hole. And so as I was doing this koan, I really enjoyed it. When I looked through the book and my teacher, Tenshin, said, pick out a koan, I looked through the book, and as soon as I saw this, I had heard it once before. Seisen had done a Dharma talk on it, and I really liked it. And so I said, this is the one I need to do. And as it unfolded, you know, I was very fortunate. I had my teacher every day to go through this with me, and then at night I discuss it with Taito Sensei. I really got into all different aspects of the story that at first doesn't make any sense, starts to unfold. It's an amazing, wonderful process. And I realized that I was the monk. And I imagined that that monk, you know, had his delusion of infinite time taken away from him. Why else would he ask such a question? Why else would he say that? It wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, it's my talk. I can imagine anything I want. He went up to the teacher. And if he's in that hole, if he's stuck in that hole, the way I read it isn't how it went. It went, the Kalpa fire's coming, and I don't know what to do. Tell me, is this destroyed or not destroyed? Great teacher knows. You can't give him any rope. Can't give him anything to hold on to. He needed to stay in the hole for a while. And he said, destroy. Does everything go with it? Everything goes with it. I know where that monk went after that. But this monk was way ahead of his time. He went for a second opinion. He went to Ryuzai. Still in the hole, but he's now accepted it more than he did before. Because after those few days, you have to get on with your life. The story still isn't sticking. You don't know how to work around it. But you start to slowly come out of that hole. You're in this place of not knowing, accepting destroyed, accepting everything goes with it. What else can you do? There's nothing else to do. There's no friend that can help you. There's no teaching. There's no sutras. This is a monk. He's been through it. He chants sutras every day. He sat through angos month after month after month on the cushion. And here he is. All alone. And he says to Ryuzai, in the raging of Kalpa fire, Chuliakasms are together destroyed. Chuliakasm is the whole universe. Is this destroyed or not destroyed? And Ryuzai, you know, could see where he was. I think he's been through it. He has looked at this every which way he could. And he said, not destroyed. And I don't think the monk was confused. I think he could accept this now. And he said, why? Why is it not destroyed? And I love this line. I love when Ryuzai looked, because I'd imagine Ryuzai looking